Hello, everybody, and welcome to Feature Focus, a monthly changelog stream. My name's Andrew, your friendly neighborhood DevCycle developer advocate, and I am so excited to be back with you again, technically for the second time this month, with another Feature Focus changelog stream. Now, if you've never been here before, welcome. Super excited to have you. This is our stream where we share some of the exciting changes that have happened on the DevCycle platform over the past month, and just some of the things that we're really excited about that exist in the world of DevCycle. On today's stream, we're going to be talking about some of our awesome recent changes over on the DevCycle marketing website. We're going to be talking about some pages that we think that you should check out. We are also going to be talking about some new features that have just been released over the past few weeks, our SDK proxy. We're going to maybe be talking about feature history a little bit and give you a little bit of insight into that. And then we're probably going to talk about a really exciting event that we have that's coming up. But that is not what I am really excited about for today's stream. What I am really excited for is the special guest that I have joining me on stream today. Now, as you know, on all of these streams, I am really, really focused on ensuring that we have only the best of the DevCycle team on. And so I'm going to bring on in just a minute somebody that you've never met before, but who works on the same team as I do here at DevCycle, Taraneh. Taraneh is one of our marketing managers on the team, or is our marketing manager on the team? Is the marketing manager on the team. And she's going to be joining us in just a second. Taraneh, are you hiding? Are you hiding out there in the internet world? There you are. She exists.
Me?
All right. I can hear you now.
Okay.
You're good. How's it going, Taraneh?
It's going well. How's it going on your end?
It's going okay. I realized that there was the first time actually that we had a spam message. We're getting big. We're getting big. Someone was here wanting to offer. Actually, I think it still shows up on here, but it's off on actually on Twitch. But it was like this big offer. It's like I want to help you get more people onto your stream. So we know we've made it big. Taraneh, you've brought in the spam bots with you. Thank you.
Oh, no. I led them here.
You led them here. Amazing. Well, Taraneh, I'm super excited that you're here today. I'm super excited that we get to talk about a little bit of developer marketing stuff and just so we get to hang out for the next hour.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. Are you?
I'm never ready. I always feel like I'm ready, and then things go awry like they did just before now. So as I always do, I don't do a huge introduction because I like to leave the opportunity for you to do an introduction while I go and do a tech check to make sure that things are actually all working. So I'm gonna pull myself off of the stream as a whole, and you can sort of introduce yourself and your background, and this is the surprise thing that I didn't tell you, but I always force everybody to do. Just kind of share a little bit about, if nobody's ever been here before, what DevCycle actually is. So a little introduction of you, and then like what is DevCycle, and you can do like the sentence of like what we do. You don't have to go super deep. And I'm going to disappear off stream for just a couple minutes while you kind of make your introduction, and then kind of share what DevCycle is all about.
Sure. I'm actually gonna pull. I'm gonna do a twist on this. I'm gonna start with what DevCycle is all about. So DevCycle is a feature flag platform that is built with the developer experience in mind, so that you can release more often, more quickly, and with confidence. I am the marketing manager. So in short, I will try to summarize what I do on a day-to-day. So I can spend a lot of time on content, and messaging is a big one. And to get to good messaging, I really think that it's important to really talk with who's using your product, and that's my happy place. So doing user interviews, doing case studies, which there'll be some exciting ones coming out this next month, including one from Netlify, which we're all really, really excited to share. But doing that research, and whether it be like usability studies or interviews, it's so, so important to like listen to the people that are using your product. And that's one thing I think we really try to do well here at DevCycle. So yeah. Part of that also includes like communicating with products. That's a huge part of what we do as well. And of course the website, which has been what I've been working on, and Andrew talked a bit about that already.
I love it. I love it. Thanks, Taraneh. That was great. And all the audio things seem to be working. I think they seem to be working anyways. At least yours is. So they may only be hearing half of the conversation, but at least it's the right half to be hearing.
Oh no.
Yeah. So thanks, Taraneh. Thanks for that introduction. What am I doing right now? I had a plan of a thing that I was going to do. But what I am going to do right now is I'm going to kind of explain the format for today's show for everybody. Oh, and look, awesome, Dinka's here. Thanks, Dinka. Dinka's making sure our audio is good. So our format of today's show, so we're going to do a couple things. First thing, we're going to go over some features. It's called Feature Focus. That totally makes sense. I talked about the features at kind of the top of the show. So we're going to look at our marketing website. We're going to talk about the SDK proxy, and maybe in feature history, and then some big event things that we have going on. We're then also going to go through our future feature segment, where we are going to, actually, hold on a second. Hold on. I forgot this. I forgot to say welcome. We're going to go through future features. We're going to look at our product roadmap and look at some of the exciting new things that are coming up in the world of DevCycle. We're going to do an opportunity for some real-time feature requests. So if you've got a feature you'd really like to see, you can share with us on stream. Our product team will literally hear it live on stream, and they can start working on it, because that's definitely how it works. And then we're going to do a giveaway, which we've only had one person that has actually taken advantage of our giveaway. I want more people to get free stuff. So at the end of the show, we're going to do a giveaway. You will find out how to do that giveaway. I'll give you a hint. It's not hard. It literally involves just like asking somebody somewhere. So stay tuned for that. If you want to win a $20 USD gift card for anywhere in the world, stick around on the stream and you can find out how at the end. Or if you've watched any of our other streams, fast forward to the end, because it's going to be the exact same process. So that's kind of the format of the show. And I think with that, we'll move into our first segment, Feature Focus. I always forget about these little sort of like bannery things. So where should we start, Taraneh? Should we start with the marketing website? Should I share your screen up on there, or should we start somewhere else?
Oh, I think we can start with the marketing website.
Okay. Are you ready? Can I pull it up? Will we dox anybody?
No, I think we should be good. It should just be the website here. So yeah, like I kind of touched on this earlier, but one of my favorite parts about being part of this team, besides working with you, Andrew,
you go.
is that we're really trying to do marketing differently. And by that I mean we're really making big efforts to get as close to the customer as possible and make sure that we're like not getting all of that marketing fluff. Marketing doesn't have to be a bad word, and it really shouldn't be. And we're doing everything we can to kind of dispel some of those harmful marketer stereotypes. And part of that is stuff like this stream. Honestly, is also another chance to get feedback from folks that are using our platform. So a lot of the words here aren't actually purely from marketing. So we've talked to a lot of our own developers. Like I said, we've talked to a lot of our own clients, and through a mix of those, we pulled out, because who describes it better than those who are using it, right? So to kind of come up with what we focused on here.
So
Yeah.
I just want to say while you're kind of going through this, for anybody who doesn't know this, so the world of developer relations, which is the job that I do, is fairly new, like within the last decade or so. There's like a new field that exists just for marketing to developers called developer marketing, which is focused on the fact that like software developers and technical people are like real hard to market to and can like sniff out when you're trying to like sell them snake oil. And so like that's a big piece of why we do marketing in a different way is like not only will developers smell you if you're doing sorry, that was a weird thing to say on stream. That's the clip that's going to come. Not only will developers know if you've done something that's a little bit off or is not super honest, but they will tell you straight up.
Marketing shouldn't be smoke and mirrors at all. So I think that like you said, we want to meet our messaging where our product's at, be honest about what we really excel at, and we're honest about what we don't cover as well. Yeah.
All right. Take it away, Taraneh. Sorry, I interrupted the flow. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. I'm switching over. This is to be released. So one of the pages that we're about to publish is a little bit more about our architecture, which I'm really happy about. Yeah, so all about the API, SDK, how these things communicate together in a way that is presented a little bit more visually than what you'd find in our docs as well. And you'll see a lot of placeholder content here. That's why it's not live yet.
So it's interesting too, like I often wonder whether these the things that we're doing around like sharing how our system works are getting out there. But I was part of this Japanese feature flag webinar yesterday, and the guy who spoke second, I thought this was a feature flagging as a whole, but it actually kind of ended up being like a love-in for DevCycle, because like my talk was about feature flagging with DevCycle, and then the second guy had written a blog post on why he loves DevCycle, and his entire presentation was talking about why he loves DevCycle in Japanese. So I want to get a translation of it later. But one of the things he pulled up was our architecture diagram that like inspired this, that Jonathan had created and put in our docs. And so I love that this is now kind of taking center stage now in like, if you want to see how DevCycle works, like this explains it. And yeah, if you don't know, like one of the big differentiators for DevCycle is like this edge worker piece. It's like just constant ability for you not to have to worry about where in the world your users are located. Like because we're using Cloudflare workers and we're using like this global CDN, everything's super fast. It's so fast. Like you are not needing to worry about latency because your servers are hosted somewhere or our servers are hosted somewhere. It's super, super powerful.
Yeah.
So
expect this in should be, I'd love for this to go to live next week. I think it will.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so I love the kind of conversation on like why we do things differently. I like this architecture page. We did a while ago, and it's a little bit of an older page now, but we did like a use case page, didn't we? Didn't we do like a page focused around use cases for feature flags?
Yes, we did. And it's actually, this is one of the things that we're really working on this month as a marketing team as a whole is publishing more realistic use cases for feature flags and the unique ones as well. Because getting into the mindset of thinking with feature flags is something that requires a little bit of a leap for developers who are not really used to working with flags. And there really isn't anything you can't put behind a flag. But just in case you're struggling to come up with ideas, we did list, we have a list of 11 of them here. But we're also expanding on this with our blog content as well, which is really exciting.
Yeah. And I would say like, so it's interesting, right? So as a developer, your first instinct reasonably is to go in and like start looking in the docs, right? So I think that that's like a really powerful place to go. But what's interesting is, so because all of our marketing materials are like created for developers, like there's actually a lot of stuff that you can find within our marketing kind of collateral, the marketing stuff that we put out, that actually provides a lot of value for you, as well as like, can I use feature flags to do this? Like, is this a thing that's going to do it? And a lot of this content is getting kind of constantly updated, but is also not specific to DevCycle. So like this idea that like you can like add Google SSO to your authentication system, that's not limited to the DevCycle platform. That's like something that you can do with feature flags as a whole. Migrating databases, there's another major feature flag provider who literally just released a big thing around migrations. So that's huge. Things like targeting and landing pages and experimentation, like all of these are like universal use cases for feature flags. And so like DevCycle is here, but there's a lot of content that we put out that are like, here's ways that you can use feature flags that are not tied to us. In fact, we actually have been releasing this use case series called 2-minute use cases, none of which are 2 minutes long, by the way. I love the name and I stuck with it. They're like 3 minutes, but I'm like, the use case is like 2.5, so that's close to 2. But like that idea of like these universal use cases and universal applications of feature flags, that's a big thing about what all of our marketing work is there. We want to help you. We want to provide you resources, learning experiences, things you can bring back to your company to justify why you want to do this. Which is really powerful. And I actually haven't, like, under our developers, like under that developers tag, you get the link to documentation right away, right? Like at the top, like that developer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So like you can jump right into our documentation here. And like actually find that out. You can also like jump right into APIs, and we've got a lot of things like that are changing now, because I'm pretty sure like we're trying to make that marketing landing page even better for folks that are looking for specific content, right? Like that banner.
Yeah, so there's going to be the navigation is going to be redone entirely, and that documentation click will only be a single click away, because it will just be at the top nav. We intend to add it here as well.
So we're actually going to have, so documentation is going to be like a top, like a first class citizen.
Yes.
I like that. So yeah, like so that's one of the things, is like everything is intended to be very integrated between these two. And so if you're ever like within the documentation, you're like, man, the documentation doesn't have what I'm needing there, there's a possibility that there may actually be stuff over on our marketing site. Now if it is, that's probably not ideal, but like there is definitely the possibility that's there. But while we're here in the DevCycle docs, I will call out this major like tip banner that I have on there, on like live on stream. So every Thursday, I am hosting, or we are hosting, not I, we, the DevCycle team, is hosting a what we're calling open office hours. These are drop-in, like you don't need to register. It's like I go on camera and do my work over on Discord, and you could drop by and say, hey, if you have questions and you want to like talk to a real human being, we can play a game of chess or something too if you really want to. Like I am game for whatever. But yeah, like all of these things are just really focused on you. So just like a little push to come and join me. They get very lonely on Thursdays when nobody shows up. Kobe, our chief product officer, comes in, and I think we just chat sometimes. But y'all are more than welcome to drop in and check things out. So I love that. I love our use cases. We kind of looked at how it works and kind of like this, our authentic kind of marketing journey. Where should we go next? Do we have any kind of more of like a conversation or some cool marketing copy that we want to look at? Or do we want to jump into some other features that have maybe come out over the past month?
Oh, let's jump into the features.
All right, so
That's what it's all about.
I'm gonna say, let me take over the screen share. So I'm gonna pull yours
Absolutely.
off. It's like you have no control over whether or not I'm
Yes.
controlling the screen. Oh my goodness. All right, let me open a new
I imagine like the
window.
big cane, you know, like
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
have to pull you off stage. Yeah.
All right, let me pull this over here, get that full screen, and go over here. That's you. I'm gonna present me. Share screen. Let's go share screen over here. Entire screen, share. Awesome. There we go. Now I'm live. This is why I'm so glad I'm streaming from home today. Whenever I've been streaming for the past like couple times, I've been streaming from the office where I do it from a booth and I have like one screen. It's not ideal. So I'm very happy to be here right now. Okay, let's go into our docs again. So we'll pick up where we left off with Taraneh, but in dark mode apparently. There we go. So one of the things you may notice, and this is like a quick tip, hot take for all of you, is if you ever see on this page, there's this little bell icon up here, or on the left-hand side, you have this release note section. Every time that we drop something new in the month, you will be able to see it here on this release notes page. So this actually integrates directly with our Beamer account, which is how the tool that we use to announce things. And so this is like directly taken from there. And you can see kind of all of the major announcements. So earlier this month, when we did our September changelog stream, we talked about VS Code. That announcement is all here, including the walkthrough. And then our latest update, our latest announcement that we're going to talk about right now is announced in here as well. And that is the DevCycle proxy. So this is a way to kind of focus around security and speed. So this is going to sort of like change the data flow for server-side components and going to give you kind of more control and autonomy over how those flags are managed. So I'm going to pull up this graphic here. I'll actually pull up, let me grab this link because I want to go full screen with this. See if this will let me jump into there. Oh, awesome. Okay. So we talk about these graphics a lot. Oh, awesome. Okay. So it's actually listed here in our docs. I love that things link to where they're supposed to link. This actually explains a really good way about, this page in our documentation, which is actually listed in the SDKs section, explains kind of the use case for these SDK proxies. And if you are a PHP user, this will have been something that had been on your radar for a while, because based on the way the PHP SDK had worked, you already needed to use an SDK proxy, and now it's just kind of more universal. So this proxy was created specifically to solve that problem for certain languages not supporting the concepts to be a local bucketing environment. And so local bucketing versus cloud bucketing, we're going to have more information about that coming out later. But kind of the key here is that for languages like PHP, this is to allow you to access the kind of like local bucketing that we have on some of our other SDKs more universally. So looking at the architecture, so this is sort of like the without the SDK proxy and with the SDK proxy. You can kind of see here how an explanation of how it works, but then I think this this flow document actually explains it a lot better, because you couldn't access a lot of these bucketing features previously, and now the proxy has really changed the game for that. So I'm not going to do justice to the way that this has been architected by our team. So if you want to learn more about our SDK proxy and why and how this helps your bucketing, go over, check it out. It's in the docs. It's linked there in our Beamer, so be sure to check that out. It is very, very powerful way for you to get more control, especially in those environments where it wasn't possible previously. All right, so that is our most recent update that is released. But I want to show you something else, and I'm gonna hint at something else that's coming out, but I'm not gonna give you too much insight into this. So I'm gonna head over to DevCycle.com, and let me log in here. See if I do it. Am I gonna dox myself? Just my personal email. That's all right.
You're giving a sneak peek.
Sneak peek at the
semi sneak peek. You're kind of doing a tease. Yeah.
Little tease. Let's go in here. Come on. All right. So if you, I don't know if everybody sees this or if it's just the DevCycle team right now, but if I go into my like feature page and you scroll all the way to the bottom in this data and results, we have this feature that we have been kind of teasing for a little while, if only internally, called our feature history. And now this is huge and it's interesting because we recently had a person in our Discord channel be like, hey, I had this thing where like somebody changed something with a flag and I wasn't informed, and I don't know who changed it and why they changed it and what they did. Can you build a feature that would allow for me to see that in production? And I was like, funny you mentioned that, because that is something that we have already been working on. And I think internally we're calling this audit logging, which will allow for you to like track things if you're needing to audit the feature flags. But at the end of the day, it's really a feature flag history.
I would say like maybe it's worth calling out, Andrew. Another benefit of DevCycle itself is like we don't have seat-based pricing, so you can invite your whole team.
Yeah.
And one of the complaints that I had heard about like some other platforms is like you're playing this game of like musical accounts where even if you do have this audit log history, you're all logged into the same account, so or the same couple accounts, and you don't actually know who's made what change.
Yeah.
And that's like another thing that DevCycle really solves here.
Yeah, love that. I love that. Yeah. So like shout out for, I mean, this is yeah, I think we even talk about this internally. We've got platforms that we use that we're all like logging into the same account, and it becomes a really big challenge of knowing, can I do this or did I do this? And so yeah, that's a huge benefit to this. So I think this is coming out very soon, and we'll talk more about how it works, and we'll do a demo on a future feature focus to kind of show you that. But I'm not sure if this is actually kind of previewable to anybody outside of the DevCycle team. I don't really care because you're seeing it on Feature Focus today. The other thing that we have that's coming out, should we hint about it? And you might know the other thing that's coming. I think it's coming very soon about like statuses. Does that ring a bell? Should we hint to that?
I think we should.
All right, I've already hinted to it. So it was interesting. That conference that I was at yesterday, the questions that came up in chat were all around like, so it was interesting. One of the chats was I explained feature flags as sort of like if-else statements, right? It was like, here's at a core level, it's a conditional statement in your code. And people were like, well, what about nested conditional statements? So like you have a flag within a flag, how do you manage that? And I was like, well, DevCycle makes that easy. But then the question came, how do you manage the life cycle of a feature flag? Like, okay, so how do you know and keep track of when flags are ready to be made permanent? And so the feature flag removed and sort of that code being added in there. And I was like, funny you mentioned that, because that's something that we've been caring a lot about. And there's folks like, one of our competitor has something called stale flags. And so you actually get like a weekly email that says like, hey, you haven't logged in or you haven't done anything with this flag. It's not doing anything. It's stale. You can probably remove it or you need to deal with it. And so we've been working on something called, I think it's like feature status or something like that, which is going to provide you this like really powerful granularity around feature flags and features and variables and all the rest of that stuff. So stay tuned for this. It's really exciting. But when you talk about one of the major complaints with implementing feature flags, and again, this came up in that conference, that webinar yesterday, was technical debt. Are you not just going to have like a whole bunch of if-else statements in your code? Does that not get hard to manage? And it's like, yeah, it does. So like you need to be able to like know when you no longer need that if-else statement in your code. And so I think this feature status feature that we'll highlight on kind of a future feature focus is a really powerful way to give you a little bit more control over that.
Yeah, who couldn't benefit from a reminder to clean up every now and then. I relate.
Right. And I mean, it's so funny too, right? Because I think it's so interesting that all the stuff that we're doing is things that developers are asking for, and I think speaks to like, okay, we're on the pulse of the community when it comes to creating things that they care about when it comes to feature flagging, and it really does sort of talk about or like sort of justify the need for like a feature management platform like DevCycle or one of the other open feature sort of ecosystem members, that like if you're gonna have more than like 5 feature flags in your code, you need a feature flag management platform, but you need that feature flag management platform to actually make your life easier, not make your life more difficult. And I think that's what I mean, there's a level of complexity that you get with DevCycle, but I think the benefit of adding that complexity is you get a lot more control and like that fine-grained power of feature flags beyond just like an on-off switch. I think is a really, really cool thing. All right. So we talked about kind of our marketing stuff. We've talked about our SDK proxy stuff that I probably didn't do justice as to exactly how it works, but go and check out the docs for that. We've talked about history. We've talked about some exciting things that are coming up, and we'll look more when we kind of go into our product roadmap. The other thing that I wanted to focus on was an exciting announcement that we just put out on our, over on our blog. Not this user opt-in 2-minute use case, although check that out. But this announcement, which I'm super excited about, DevCycle is going to KubeCon. We are headed to Chicago, the Windy City. We are headed, Taraneh, myself, Kobe, our CPO, Jonathan, our CTO, I think, who else? Anthony, who you saw on our last Feature Focus stream, and Emma, one of our amazing software engineers that works for DevCycle. Who else am I missing? Oh, and Mark. We're all going to be in, and Togglebot. We're all going to be in Chicago in a little over a week. And we are going to be there sharing the love, of feature flags with the world. We're going to be there. This is what our booth is going to look like. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have cool stuff there. I think Serene, one of our other account managers, actually kind of like hinted already. We bought a claw machine for this conference. And we are going to have our claw machine there. It's going to be super cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait for this event. It's going to be sweet. But we're going to be there. We're going to have swag. We're going to have demos. We're going to have all of the things that you've come to know and love about DevCycle. We may possibly have a live action Togglebot that is going to make an appearance potentially. If you don't know who Togglebot is, this is Togglebot right up here. And Togglebot is our mascot for DevCycle. And so we've been doing some work to try and bring Togglebot to life. So stay tuned for that. But if you are in the Chicago area, or if you're in like the entire state of Illinois, or like anywhere near, and you're like, I need to meet these people in person, come and see us. We're going to be hanging out for the better part of the week. I think I'm going to be there like Sunday to Friday. It's going to be a long week, but it's going to be amazing. So definitely come and check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And you get to see Taraneh and I in person, which I think is really cool. All right. So that is, I think, all of the big kind of focus things, big announcements, and all of the rest of that fun stuff that's been going on. I guess the other announcement that I will share, actually, this is kind of fun, and I posted it over on our LinkedIn for DevCycle. Not that one that we're live here, but not that one. This one. And this is a little bit like ahead of the game. Like, I don't need to be announcing this now, but for any of you who didn't know, our resident developer evangelist, Mark, has been traveling everywhere. He was with me in London. and then he was in Las Vegas, and then he was in Phoenix. And now he gets like a slight rest while he prepares to head to Chicago with us. Like, this man is traveling a lot. But he's also in November going to be presenting at the Canadian DevOps Community Practice, basically the Canadian DevOps Summit. It's going to be re-delivering his talk that he delivered at Cibo Navigate on migrating from Docker Desktop to Code Zero. But his talk from last year is actually posted because he spoke at this conference last year on feature flags and DORA metrics, which have been a really big topic that DevCycle has been covering on a lot of different events. So be sure to check that out as well. I think it's really interesting. I love all Mark's talks. He's such a good, like, technical communicator. Like, I learn every time that Mark presents. I'm like, oh my God, this is what it looks like to actually be like a really talented technical communicator. So I'm definitely here for it. All right. So I think that's the end of our feature focus section, but we are now going to move into another section of our stream, which I like to call future features. I'm going to put up on the bottom of the screen a link to access that. Can I change this? I think I can change this to like a banner that goes across the screen. Can I? Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna make a new one. Create a banner, scrolling banner, add banner. There we go. I can add that, and then I can also have future features. Oh, I can have them both. So head on over to the link that I've got in there. I'm gonna throw this in the chat to bit.ly/DevCycle roadmap. All right, let's see if that works. So I got a link there in chat. Can I throw all of them up here? Bit.ly/DevCycle roadmap. We're going to head over there right now. And we're going to talk about kind of some of the future features that are planned here. So I'm going to go bit.ly/DevCycle roadmap. Pull that up here. Here we are. We made it. I'm going to pull down that. I'll leave that banner up, but I'm going to pull down the second banner here. Banner. Future features. All right. So the DevCycle roadmap. This is a public roadmap that exists out there for all of you who are watching. This is a way for you to know what we're working on at any given time. This is also a way for you to contribute new ideas. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of talk about some of the things that we're doing. We talked about a few of them today, and then kind of look at what's coming next and then what's coming kind of way down the pipeline. And then Taraneh and I kind of share sort of our thoughts on which of these is our favorite. So two of these we already talked about. Feature level audit logging. This is that history feature that we showcased. The done state of a feature lifecycle. That's that sort of like feature tagging thing that we talked about already. But there's some other stuff that is in here as well that's kind of exciting. One of them is only really exciting for people that are like of a certain focus. So if you've never heard of SOC 2 compliance, this is like enterprise certification for like data management. And so our team is working really, really hard on this right now. One of the other things is a Cloudflare worker SDK. So again, Cloudflare workers are huge now. People are using these as like a way to manage a lot of the edge things that they are doing. And so actually being able to add feature flags inside of those workers are a thing that we're working on. But one of the most exciting things for me anyways is this one right here, this open feature support for all server-side SDKs. So for anybody who doesn't know, open feature is a new open source standard that's being developed. It's a CNCF incubated project, that aims to sort of create a vendor agnostic standard for feature flags. And what is part of this is actually, so let's say I'm actually going to pull this page up. So let's say you are adding feature flags to your project. So Taraneh, you've decided to add feature flags to your project and you are using DevCycle. But you decide one day, or maybe like your financial situation changes and you can no longer afford the ridiculously affordable rate that DevCycle charges for you to use feature flags with us. And so you need to move to like a more open source offering, one that you can kind of like manage yourself and have more control over. If you're using open feature as your standard, you are actually able to migrate between feature flag providers. And so what does that mean? It means if you are using a language that is supported by another vendor, you're actually able to easily switch between. So for example, here, like ConfigCat, another major player in this space, has a Go provider. So if you were using Go feature flags with a vendor that had a provider set up for open feature, you would easily be able to move between ConfigCat, that other vendor, and DevCycle is going hard into this. We really believe in this open standard. Vendor lock-in sucks, and much as we would love for you to stay with the DevCycle platform, we actually care more that you're being a good developer and that you're using feature flags, because they are the important part of this cycle. And we want you to use DevCycle, but we want you to be able to use feature flags regardless of your situation. So that's a big thing that we're focused on right now, is like building out server-side support for these things. There's an announcement that's going to be coming out about this around the KubeCon time, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, any of these that are like really exciting for you right now that are kind of in the things that we're working on right now, Taraneh, any of these things that you've like heard a lot about from the interviews you've done that you're like, yes, this is going to be super powerful?
Well, I think all of these things are rooted in some sort of customer feedback. But if me personally, if I had to choose one, I'm really excited about the done flag state and the stale flag detection that kind of comes along with that. I think that's going to be just like immense, like a quality of life improvement. Just so nice to have.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. All right, let's look at sort of the things that are coming up next. And so it's funny because this at a glance feature status is kind of connected to this done state of a feature. So we've kind of got 2 features for the price of 1, and the lifecycle stat. Actually, we've got like 3 for the price of 1 with that new feature that's coming out. I love that. So that's very cool. So it's funny, our next stuff is actually all related to our now stuff. So we're going to be checking off a lot of these boxes kind of as we go down the road moving forward. All right, so that's our next. There's some other things in here that I think every time I come in here, I'm like, what does automatic variable creation mean? Real-time detection of new variables that have been evaluated. Oh, that's cool. Did you know about this, Taraneh?
No.
I didn't. I'm in here every time I look at this. That's super cool. Okay, so imagine a world where you build so you create a new feature in your code, and then instead of having to then go and create it in the DevCycle platform, it automatically creates a variable in the platform. There's like a button that you press and it just like creates that variable on the DevCycle platform. Does that make sense? Like that's freaking cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Really? Dang. Dan killing it with this ticket. I don't know where this one came from, but I'm very excited for this. This is super cool. I also really need to read through these tickets before. And then this SSE connection. Server-side events, local bucketing. This might actually be related to that new SDK proxy stuff. All right, let's look at our later thing. What do we got here? Install via CLI. That's a cool idea. I like that. That's cool. So if you don't know this right now, if you decide to add DevCycle to your project and you want to use their CLI, you can't actually install DevCycle into your project using our CLI. You have to go like npm install whatever the name is, which is fine. It's like not a hard process. You literally copy and paste into your terminal. But we're trying to add that actually in so that you'll be able to install the DevCycle SDK from the CLI, which is very cool. It's just like one less thing that you have to do, which I think is kind of cool. All right, so that's going on. Okta integration, that's cool. Postman stuff, deleting variables, audience imports, downloadable example applications. This one is huge for me. I love our example applications. I think it's great that you can go in and like in a couple of minutes be using an example app. But right now, in order to do that, sort of the process is you need to go into docs.devcycle.com, and then you need to go and click on examples, and then you need to click on like React Next.js, and then it brings you over to devs. Anyways, oh, that's not good. That's a good thing to find. Yeah. So maybe we'll try the regular JavaScript one. Hey, there we go. So basically you go in here and then you would need to like download this repo and then go through that process. So what if you could actually just go onto the DevCycle platform, and when you go into your features here, we already have this ability when you go to your code samples to like, go and, so if I change this to say JavaScript client, Node.js server. Oh, I'm looking on the wrong screen. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Java, PHP. I like PHP. So you can go in here and then you can like click on this link to go to the sample app. And so like you already have this process, but what if you could just download it directly from there and it like added a repo? Some other platforms already have this. I think it really improves the developer experience for like getting these things off the ground. And so I think that's definitely an exciting feature on my side anyways of like a thing that's coming in the future. And then also linear integration. I am such a stan for linear. Like I love linear as a plot. How do you feel about linear? Are you as linear of a stan for linear as I am, Taraneh?
I wasn't love at first sight, but I did come to love linear over time and just see the kind of like the benefits of having like the whole team in the same task tracking.
Yeah. If you've never heard of linear before, by the way, linear is like a Jira or an Asana alternative. And so you can actually use this. It doesn't even have like many different features, but one of the things is it has like an overarching view of like all your projects that's built in as standard. So with Asana, you're able to like see, and I think even with Jira, you can see like individual projects, but it's hard to see like overall things that are either for you or connected to your teams. And so linear allows for that process to happen a little bit more easily. So yeah, that's coming up too, and I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, any of these that really excite you, Taraneh? Like any of these that are like, oh, that totally makes a lot of sense.
I like anything that reduces friction. Yeah, so things like the downloadable example apps, I think are great, making those easier to work in. Like, imagine being able to test this very quickly and understand how it works and how it would integrate into your code. I think that's just like hugely beneficial all around.
Yeah.
So
we were having a conversation internally as a team that I saw yesterday that like our VP engineering was talking about like how do we lower friction for people like right away? So how do we make it really, really easy for them to understand how DevCycle works without having to sign up for an account? And like there's a benefit to signing up for an account, but also like understanding how it works without an account is a really powerful thing. And so we're constantly trying to, like removing friction is sort of the key to all of these things on the roadmap. So speaking of roadmap and ideas and things that lower your friction, if you've got an idea for a thing, there's a couple of ways to get this information out to us. The first one is here on the product board, that link. If you go to the DevCycle roadmap link, you can go here, you can submit a new idea. You can upvote other ideas here. So if you're like, I really want to have this Okta SAML integration, like you can go on here, you can upvote it. I think, yeah, you can say that this is like a critical thing for you. It will actually like send you notifications when things change on here. So really great way to give us feedback. Also, if you go over to our Discord server, let me pull this over to the other window. Oh, I have that full screen. Let me unfull screen this. If you go over to our Discord server, which I think, hold on. Things are happening. things are happening that I don't want to. Oh my goodness, things have gone awry. Let me try and get this open on my other screen. I do not love Mac for that. So if you go over our Discord, we have our feature request channel, which I've recently unarchived, and our Ask DevCycle forum. So in either of these, you can do feature requests, where you can actually go in and like tag something with a feature request, or you can like, if you add a comment in the feature request section here, as I recently discovered from Cody, this actually feeds into our product board. So if you type a request in here, it'll automatically go in. So you can use this as your place to add features as well, which I think is really, really cool. So definitely check that out. The other way that you can get features added or like suggest features to the DevCycle platform is to scream at us through whatever medium you would like to use. So you can scream at us here on Twitch. You can scream at us on social media. You can scream at us in your own personal blog posts. You can scream at us in all caps, in all lowercase. You can scream with your voice or with your soul or just with your brain. But anywhere that you put feedback out there, we will listen to it. I constantly am looking for your feedback on DevCycle. I go on YouTube, I go on Google. Anytime something comes out, I share it with the team. We're constantly looking at what competitors are doing and using that as sort of a guide of like what's really interesting here. So be sure to just shout at us because we want to hear your feedback and we want to implement it here. That's what we're all about. We want to share kind of what you're doing with our team. That's our feature request space. Oh, I forgot about putting that up before. All right, I'm going to remove that now. But this brings us to my sort of the final section of our stream today. We got a couple minutes left, which is our Discord giveaway. So I told you that this was an easy way to engage and get some free cash money. And here's all you got to do. Head over to bit.ly/DevCycle Discord, join in here, come in anywhere, and just at Taraneh. That's all you got to do. It's a two-step process. Join the community, at one of us. I have 3 gift cards every stream to give away. So if you are one of 3 people that ats one of us, you can win a gift card. If you are the only people that ats one of us, you will not get 3 gift cards. If you work for DevCycle, you will also not get a gift card. But come over here. We want to give you free money. So far, we've only had 1 person that's taken advantage of this. I hope that more people will take advantage of it soon. But come on over here, get our Discord giveaway. And if you're catching this as a recording or as a stream VOD, you can still win. There is no limit to the time that you can go in here and at one of us. And also, you'll notice here, you can add any of us on the team. You can add our CTO, our CEO, our product managers, me, Taraneh, basically the entire team. You can find here on Discord, and you can connect with us. And we're constantly looking in here and wanting to have conversations, so be sure to join us over here. This is also where you can join us for some of the other awesome things that are going on, like those drop-in office hours and stuff.
Yeah, and you don't even have to scream. You can, if you use your indoor voice, you will still be heard, I assure.
Yeah, you can just talk. You can just talk at us too. But join us over there on the DevCycle Discord because we really do want to hear from you, and we want you to be part of our community. So that is a huge part of what we're all about. All right. So what did we do today? So we introduced Taraneh to the world, our wonderful marketing manager. She is now out there in the world. We talked about kind of what we're doing differently with our developer marketing. We looked at our use case page. We looked at that new kind of how it works page that's coming out soon. We talked really briefly about our SDK proxy that just came out. Talked a little bit about feature history or audit logging. We give a little preview into that sort of like flag tracking, lifecycle tracking process there. We looked at Discord. We talked about linear. We talked about so many things on today's stream. But sadly, we have reached the end of our time together here on Feature Focus. And that is really sad. Although I know that it's not over, because next month, in November, we will be back and we'll have lots of stuff to share. We'll be back from KubeCon. I know there's lots of features coming out. I think like audit logging will probably be out by then. Our flag tracking will probably also be out by then. So we'll be able to talk about all of that stuff. Yeah. So for all of you who are tuning into this stream live, thank you so much for being here. For all of you who are catching the VOD, thank you for watching for an hour and kind of hanging out with us and doing this afterwards. Don't be a stranger. We'll be back here last Friday of every month to do Feature Focus and then lots of other streams as well. If you haven't already, head on over to our Discord. The link is kind of on the bottom of the screen there. Join our community. We'd love to see you there. And if you're catching this live and there's something you want to kind of see again, if you want to hear me stumble over my explanation of anything, and you want to relive that moment again and again, you can always we post these on Twitch, we post these on YouTube. I'll share them out on Twitter and LinkedIn. So lots of opportunities for you to relive the wonder that is Feature Focus over the next little while. All right, Taraneh, you're our guest, so I'll give you the final word for the stream today. What is the final word for today?
I think the final word is, I just want to wish everyone a really happy Halloween. That is like my favorite time of year. And, had I known this was the spooky, I saw that you did the spooky intro. I mean, I think you know this and probably why you didn't tell me. I would have dressed up, but...
So I kind of knew, and I was going to say, by the way, if you're not sure what Taraneh is talking about, I'll pull it up on the screen now. So I redid this, and actually this is it's the little things like Togglebot's little like antenna going up in this ghost costume. It wasn't really a spooky episode, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I get to have fun with those graphics a lot. And so, yeah, I agree. Happy Halloween, everybody. If you don't celebrate, happy solstice. I don't know what time of year it is if you don't celebrate. Happy candy time.
Fall.
Happy fall. Happy
pumpkin
autumn.
Spice time.
Happy pumpkin spice time. And thank you all so much for being here. And please don't be a stranger. We've been so happy to have you all here. Taraneh, thank you so much for being on my stream today on Feature Focus. I'm so excited to anytime I get to go on stream with you. And as with everybody else, we'll see you next time. And have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. And we'll see you around the DevCycle community. Bye-bye.